And we're back. Hello, guys. We're almost at 100 subscribers. It's been a long road coming. It's been a long road coming to this 100 subscribers, and it feels like we're about to get to it. It's been anticipating. We're sitting at 98 right now, and I know it's not like a lot of subscribers, but I do appreciate every single one of you that has subscribed up until this moment. I'm still gonna be continuing making content and such, and so, you know, I'm having fun with it because this is awesome. I love seeing all of you guys subscribe. It's so amazing. It's like fills my soul. Makes me so happy. I haven't been playing too many video games, so today is not really a game review. I mean, it is a game. So, I have been playing IRL games to pass the time when friends come over. And, well, I picked up a new one that we were playing a couple of weeks ago. And it's called Shadows Casting. It's this adorable little cardboard tabletop game. Yes. It's a tabletop game brought to you by Unstable Games. If you're familiar with Unstable Unicorns, that's another one that I should review, that I might review next time. This game is actually pretty fun. There's a lot of unique traits to it that makes it pretty unique. It feels like a video game when you fully get into it, but for the most part, it's not really for children because there's a lot of moving parts in this game. And that creates its own, how do I say, unfortunate circumstances due to the fact that the developers kind of just overthought it to the point of absurdity, and the rules get kind of annoying, and I kind of homebrewed it a little bit, so we'll get into it right now. This is the box. It's actually really cute fan art. Unstable Games. They make absolutely fantastic art. And then on the back of the box, we have everything that comes inside. So if you're ever missing any of the pieces, you know exactly what it is that you're missing, which is actually pretty cute and cool. Yeah, that's the box. Along with the box, you gain 4 different characters. Each character is equal to the number of tiles that you have, or the number of character tiles that you have. So you have Frilly Lily Pad, Kid Gale. The characters are also really cute. It's a 2 to 4 player game, so you can't play with 1 and you can't play with 5, because you need a character and you need a tile to play on. I think there is an expansion that they're planning on coming out with. Don't quote me on that. I heard that from the grapevine somewhere. As you play through the game, each character has a health bar and a shadow score, I like to say. So a health bar, shadow score. As you play through the game, there are different effects that can deal damage to your character. And as you play, you also gain effects that increase your shadow score. You start at 0, you go up to 3, you flip, you're now back at 0, and now you gain this super cool character with a super cool effect. As you play through and you gain more of the shadows fragments, the shadow fragments are either gained through the dice rolls that you have or through the cards that are on the field. This is the pretty self-explanatory part. I didn't have a problem with this playing through it. Love the characters, love the effects. The only problem that I did find was the game kind of goes super fast if you continually use the spells over and over again. So we made it a little bit more profitable for you, I guess, and it makes the game a little bit longer, where every time you flip and you use the effect, you have to flip over again, and then you're back at 0, and then you continually playing like that until you gain back to 3 and then are able to flip again. And then it also consists, every time you flip, you gain one of these unique cards. So it also makes the game a little bit longer and a little bit more fun, because every time you flip, you can only gain one of your little companions here. Now this is where the complicated part comes. The actual map. I don't mind the map per se. I just don't like the fact that the map itself has effects. And then they thought it was a good idea to give us a little booklet to let you know what each tile does. This is the annoying part, because every time it's your turn, you kind of have to just hand this booklet around, or I chose to write it on the actual tiles. This is kind of tacky, but it does work, especially when you're in like a 4-man group. This is the part that takes the most amount of time to understand exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And then we also have the little reference cards. Don't mind this so much, but there's a lot of stuff you can do on your turn, where you can travel, collect, refresh, reroll, protect, and cast. And doing all of this is dictated by your dice. Don't mind the dice so much, but the problem that I have with the dice is that these things doesn't feel fair. It does not feel fair. The chaos crystals, I like to call them, on the end of your turn, you take as much damage as you have crystals in your field. You can only use 4 of your dice, because one of them goes away as a protective crystal or like an action, as your action. So you only get 4 dice to play with. I kind of wish you had 5 dice to play with, but if you're playing by the rules, it feels fine. It kind of mixes up and dictates how you're supposed to be playing, so you have to choose which of your resources you want to use as an action protect, and then how many dice you want to actually use. The dice is determined by where you're playing on the board. So you start in your area, and then you play. I think it's this. Yes, it's like this. Where you are on the board. So along with the boards having its own unique effect, you also have cards that are attached to the boards themselves, and you can collect the cards up to 6 at a time, including your companion cards and your counterspell cards. The desert tile doesn't have like a true effect, but the effect is to gain counter spells to stop these spells. What the fuck? This is the annoying part. I feel like there's just a lot going on at one time, and I feel like without all of the little things, like I don't think the board needed to have effects. Give everyone the 5 resources directly off the bat, and then just allow them to collect the different cards by moving. Moving is required by using one of your dice and then using an action up to the amount of actions that you want to move around the board. If you want to use only 1 protect and then 1 card, you move over here. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's why I don't really like it. This feels like it's trying to do Monopoly, Catan, Ascension, and it's like being a jack of all trades but a master of none. It all feels good to look at, and playing them individually feels nice, but putting it all together feels bad. And there are ways to homebrew it a little bit. So the one way is the original rules is you don't flip, you just stay as your character. I also found that adding Mario rules, I like to call it, where if you're attacked up to 2 times, you cannot be targeted again, because for the most part, the cards themselves, like this card, for example, Sinister Screech, spend 1 cursed crystal, so one of these, to deal 4 damage to an enemy in range. With how small this map is, you're always going to be in range of somebody. And so to make it kind of fair, we limited it up to 2, so you can't just laser down 1 person and knock them out of the game, especially because we only have 8 health, and a lot of these cards deal from 1 to 4 damage, plus the effects on themselves. So you can do in 1 turn 4 damage plus 4 damage, and then you also have, let's say, next turn 1 damage. So you're already doing about 10 damage in 1 turn to somebody, and now you're down to 5, and then next turn you didn't get a good roll, and then you have chaos crystals that do damage to you automatically. It doesn't feel fair. Like, it didn't need the chaos crystals. The field does not need to have effects. And if it did need to have effects, print them directly onto the board. And then you don't need all of this. Like, just have a main deck and then spending crystals to gain the cards. This just feels too much. So probably put this in the main deck, and then you can spend a certain number of crystals to draw cards, and then you can do the effect like that. Or you could do it where I don't know, you can dictate the rolls. So this is an action point plus one of these allows you to draw a quick spell card. So maybe we can do it like the other way, where you can spend one of these and one of these and one of, I don't know, one of these to be able to draw one of these cards, and then you can use the effects here to actually activate the effects later on. That's another homebrewed way that you can do it, and that feels also nicer. You also have these tiles to allow you to gain more, because these do give you extra mana to use during your turn. I feel like that's a lot. It took 11 minutes to explain this whole game, and when you're trying to play it with friends who are drinking and having fun, it feels fine. But there are so many other games with little prep time and a lot more fun. So, yeah. This game is rated 12 and up. Fully understand it. It's not really for toddlers and children. It's not Monopoly or Uno. That's for sure. Other problem? This booklet is kind of useless. Not even gonna lie to you. This booklet gives you specific resources on what you're supposed to be doing during your turn, but for the most part, you will only use this once you learn the basics. You will only use this to do a reference check to make sure that you're actually doing it correctly. And for the most part, it's kind of bad. Doesn't give you a full insight of what you're supposed to be doing. Like, the booklet feels like it needs to be thicker. And it's already thick enough. But yeah, that's Shadows Casting. It's an okay game, I guess. I bought it from Target. You can get it on Amazon, anywhere that they sell board games for the most part. Pick it up. See if you like it. I don't think I'll be playing it. I did like the other game that I reviewed before. And Unstable Unicorns, ooh, that's another one. I'm going to be reviewing that next time. But yeah, this is a no bueno for me. I'm not going to be returning it. I'm going to be continually playing it, but I will be homebrewing it and seeing what the perfect brew is, I guess. It's a fine game. It's a fine, family-friendly game that...
Okay.
That's it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye.